easily see the one down here. I was thinking about this. I talked about this, in videos from several months ago. The name of the game on one weekend was to keep opening doors in front of the person with the camera, or in front of anyone in general, especially females who often don't have body love, if you will. So the name of the game would be open a door so that you see your reflection. And some people their brains are kept in a way where they don't even see. They don't see anything. You've met these people, you don't feel seen when you're around them. It's a metaphor as well as actual physical. You do not feel seen and heard in the presence of some people, so it's like you kind of give up dealing with them because they're not really paying attention. But anyway, for people who can see, they would know, like, oh, they're fully aware. They don't want to see themselves, in a reflection every 30 seconds or every 5 seconds. Because around in a city, especially, you have a lot of glass buildings, a lot of storefronts, a lot of doors opening, a lot of signage, even here on bus shelter signage, and there could be like factions of people, like actual rings, whether they're rings of family rings or even different neighborhoods. Say you're part of the Irish neighborhood, the Mummers neighborhood, the Italian neighborhood, the gay neighborhood, the so forth and so on. And these people will there are people within each neighborhood who will actually make it a game, like, I know what we could do to Sharon today. Let's, along her walk, because she has the usual routine for work or for this, we will look, it's Mobland. We will know she's coming down the street, and we'll kind of text and say, oh, you know what, she went down Chestnut today, oh, she went down 11th today, and just keep opening doors in front of her just to get her upset about her body, because I'm normal. I'm a little bit lucky in terms of body shape, I guess, kind of, but it's still there. I had to lose weight in the 90s, 1990 to 1992, and I still have insecurities, as do most people, but women in particular, so can you imagine people doing that, and that was the name of the game today, or this week, or yesterday? And people actually came out in full force from different circles. Maybe they all are part of, some landmark or EST cult group, like some special group that some people consider a cult. And they are willing to hook up, to rally people together to do this, because in their minds, they think they're either supposed to play a game, or in their minds, they keep trying desperately to hurt you so that they can control you later. That would be like a game that some circles would play. I kind of grew up in such a way where I was exposed to certain people, and it's like, maybe they feed you cranberry juice and then take you up on they learn to be a pilot, they're in training, they take you up on a Cessna 2-seater, rinky-dink. Nobody wants that ride, trust me. No one it's a junk car in the sky, and they should be banned, but that's how they train pilots. And say someone is so used to playing this game against women particularly, or someone who seems like competition because maybe they're part of a step family and they want to make sure they get the money in the end. You know what I mean? So we need to hurt the last, you know, one, say you, in my case, I have a sister. She stopped showing up for the weekends when you visit, you know, your dad in a divorce situation or whatever, just because there's too much of a clash of, you know, control issues, you know, personalities, all those dynamics. And she gave up and stopped going. I continued to go because I didn't want to displease my dad. Now, I actually wanted to have a relationship with my dad. But therein lies a serious problem for people who can think long term. I did not. Most victims, most people who are surviving every day don't even think long term. People who have the privilege to think long term are already thinking about house sales, insurance, life insurance, stocks, bonds, whatever. They are in a position to think like that. And they would act accordingly if they're part of a weird group. Okay, what's another way we can hurt Sharon? Okay, we'll invite her to a party, then get her drunk and have some Swedish guy hook up with her. She's not even 18 years old. She's like 17 years old in college. Like, it's a college party. And see if she gets pregnant, and that'll ruin her whole life, you know. So, and that would, you know, not that pregnancy ruins people's lives, it's just technically it's incredibly difficult. Your priorities have to change. So you know, you have to worry about someone else, and then your, you know, goals and stuff go down the drain per se, or what have you. Not, you know, maybe there's an opportunity to keep going to school or what have you, but usually it's a million times harder. So anyway, let's say someone feeds you cranberry juice, takes you up in an airplane that's rinky-dink, and then kills the engine because they want to see if you'll throw up. That's actually considered abusive. That is one way to keep people silent, because if you keep being hurt, you're unable to communicate. You're unable to know who's being good to you and who's being bad. You don't know the difference. So that's the issue there. Some people just make it a science to keep hurting certain women and men, but in my case it's like, are you kidding? Even other women who need to keep, say, Sharon's silent or this, that, and the other. So on the bizarre side of, are they mentally ill? They should really check themselves into a hospital. And some of these people have good jobs and are able to maintain their jobs. I'm like, this is interesting. I'm wondering how they appear at work amongst the people they work with. Does anyone think, eye roll, here comes the rapist, murderer person? Self-disclosure there. That's interesting. They have little tongs. How about that? I've never seen those before. I didn't know they had those. Little jet ski for the streets, right? Yeah. How about that? I knew they had grabbers or whatever, but I've never seen the tongs before. So